more information on the 3i Atlas. And this time again, Avi Loeb saying some wild stuff about what this thing could be. This was also the same thing that a while ago Avi Loeb had mentioned, potentially non-human, the way that it's moving and how fast. Kind of doubles down on it. This is the interview that he gave on NewsNation. Listen what he said.
This is not only an alien spaceship, but it's nuclear powered? Why are you saying that?
Well, thanks for having me. First, I should say that if the light that we observe from this object is reflection of sunlight, its size needs to be bigger than Manhattan Island, 20 kilometers or so. And there isn't enough rocky material in interstellar space to deliver a rock of that size earlier than 10,000 years from now. So the question is, what is it? And its orbit, the trajectory that it takes, is aligned with the plane of the planets around the sun to within 5 degrees. That's a chance of 1 in 500. And moreover, the timing.
What does that tell you? What does that trajectory tell you?
Well, it indicates that perhaps it was designed by some intelligence.
That's something steering it.
Not necessarily, but the trajectory itself was chosen to be such that this object will pass close to Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. The chance of that happening, the timing of its arrival is perfect for that, with a likelihood of 1 in 20,000. And so I'm just saying we should observe it. It doesn't look like it's a random occurrence. The size, the trajectory, the fact that it comes so close to 3 planets in our solar system, and actually it comes closest to the sun on October 29th, when the Earth would be on the other side of the sun. We won't be able to observe it.
It's pretty wild. If you hear, I mean, again, Avi Loeb has really been adamant that there's something more to this thing, and the idea that it's passing through these different planets, and the fact that it's going to pass by Mars. What does that mean? Why isn't the follow-up with when does it pass by Earth? And when could it pass by Earth? Because it gets to Mars by October. I guess that's the next conversation. If it does go past Mars, and you should have a better, I guess, idea of exactly what it is when it passes by Mars. But the idea that, again, potentially nuclear powered, and the idea that, and I liked how when the reporter asked him, oh, so it means that someone's steering it. He's like, well, it doesn't necessarily mean someone's steering it. It just means that it's designed to be going this way. That it's designed. It's not just a random thing floating around in space. I still need more people to talk about it, though, because this is one particular person who has a very strong opinion on this. He's made it very clear. He's got a very strong opinion on this. The other thing is, as we've talked about, when we first covered this story, however many weeks ago it was, and it is a head scratcher, right? Because you remember that video that we also covered here on the channel about Jeremy Corbell saying they're going to tell you that there's going to be an alien invasion. There's going to be an attack from NHI, non-human intelligence. And then this thing starts popping around. It does. It definitely has parallels to Independence Day, doesn't it? When they're like, oh, well, I guess Independence Day it was moving a lot faster. It's gonna be within our atmosphere from within a couple of days from when they picked up the signal. There are no signals yet. It's just from what I've seen so far, one particular person talking about it, but there are other articles on this. Check this out. This is from The Guardian. A mysterious comet is shooting through our solar system. Why are scientists so excited about 3i Atlas? This really fun space rock is only the third interstellar object to be observed. Where is it heading? And can stargazers see it? This is an image captured by the Hubble Space Telescope of the comet, an interstellar object that is visiting our solar system. There you see it right there. An object that came from outside our solar system is hurtling towards the sun at roughly 61 kilometers, 38 miles a second. It's crazy. First detected in July, this visitor from outer space, known as 3I Atlas, is the only third known interstellar object to have been observed after Oumuamua in 2017 and Dui-Borisov in 2019. Excitement has been growing since the Hubble Space Telescope captured an image of the interstellar interloper, offering scientists a rare opportunity to analyze its size and chemical makeup. We've never had an object like this to study before, says Dr. Rebecca Allen, co-writer of Swinburne's Space Technology and Industry Institute. So what exactly is it? They say we don't exactly know where it came from, but it definitely came from outside the solar system, says Laura Dreisen, a radio astronomer at the University of Sydney. The name comes from I for interstellar, 3 is the third such object detected, and Atlas for the network of telescopes that identified it, called the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. While some have speculated about an alien incursion, scientists say 3I Atlas is probably a comet. You may remember the speculation over Oumuamua, which astronomers checked for radio signals in case it was an alien craft. It wasn't. There's no evidence to point towards 3I Atlas being anything other than a really fun space rock that came from outside the solar system, Dreisen said, which, to be honest, is cool enough. Why are scientists excited about the interstellar object? In the Hubble image, 3I Atlas looks a bit like a fuzzy snowball. Its hazy appearance is due to its coma, which is formed as the comet's surface is heated by the sun, releasing dust and gas, and there are signs of a comet tail. Those chemical signatures of elements and molecules from outside our solar system will become more visible the closer it gets to the sun. We can use a tool called spectroscopy, and we can use light to actually understand exactly what that material is. Does this comet represent a solar system that have very similar conditions to our own, or is it something completely different? Researchers have already used the Hubble image to estimate the diameter of 3I Atlas to be less than 5.6 kilometers and potentially as small as 320 meters. Where is 3I Atlas heading? It's going to cruise through the inner solar system in between Mars and Earth's orbit, and then it will fly past the sun. This one is what we call a hyperbolic orbit, so it's not gravitationally bound to the sun. It's traveling much too fast, and it will just fly out of the other side of the solar system. Its interstellar origins make 3I Atlas different from other comets that orbit within the solar system, such as Halley's Comet, says Constoisis, the comet and meteor director at the Astronomical Society of Victoria. It's expected to make its closest approach to the sun between October and December, and then continue its journey into space. The closest, according to NASA, is that it's going to come to Earth is about 270 kilometers. Okay, so that's the opposite. Okay, so that's a take of the more scientific approach to it. Not that Avi Loeb is not having a scientific approach to it, but the more it's a comet, and it's just passing through the solar system. And the intriguing thing is it came from a different solar system. It came from a different place, and hopefully we can get some data on it. That's what that article seems to say that other scientists are saying. Where there are other theories. The question is, how many other theories? I haven't seen a lot, and I'm not saying that it is just Avi Loeb, but usually when I'm seeing the theory that it is alien-based, that it's Avi Loeb. Please let me know, and I'm sure that there are other people who are maybe saying, oh, it's very possible for what he's saying. Mostly the interviews that I've seen are from him in that area. Again, could be other people who are theorizing that it's something else, and he's not saying that it's aliens flying around in a spaceship. He's just saying that it's something that seems designed. The question is, who's right? You know what I mean? It's like it very well could just be another comet. But what if it isn't? As they said, there was another one that they thought that may from years back, one of the three, this is the third one, that they said maybe this is also potentially alien, and it turned out that it wasn't. So is this going to be that same scenario? We'll find out a little bit more once we get to October and November to see a little bit more of this thing. It also shows, it's funny because we're having this conversation today with somebody, and we're talking about the ideas. Like they said, well, what do you think? If you think this is real, what it could be? And I've told you guys, my thought is, to me, the interdimensional time and space thing sounds like, I feel like that could be the one that makes sense to me. Because I don't think because we can't make sense of really how time and space works, and bending time and space and technology that we can't fathom and things of that nature. That to me seems a little bit more likely than the fact that here is, let's say, this thing that's we know is going to be, it's moving super fast, and yet it's not going to be here until October or November, right? the things that are flipping around in the sky and going back and forth, they move really, really fast. They come in and out. They're moving around. If they were coming from if they're light speed, wouldn't we essentially pick that up coming from space in the way that we're picking this thing up? It's like even if it's coming through, once it gets to our atmosphere and it can zip back and forth, but you're in space, can you zip back and forth like that in space? And if so, even if you're light years away, wouldn't you still be moving? Even if you're moving that fast, wouldn't it still be picked up in the same way that this thing's getting picked up? That's why I think that space travel from other worlds and other galaxies is unlikely. That's my opinion on it. But interdimensional stuff and moving through quantum physics and things that we can't understand, that makes more sense to me. But then again, but I guess the same thing is, well, then you'd ask me. So I guess that you don't think then that this could be sent from somewhere else. And as I've said, and I've made a declaration to never say, no, it's not that. I have no idea. I think it's unlikely. Do I think it's most likely a comet or something along those lines? Yes, I do. I think it's most likely the same type of thing that we've picked up. It's from a different atmosphere, a different galaxy, and it's coming from somewhere else that we don't know. That's very possible. Space is vast. So I think it's unlikely that it's NHI, but I will also never definitively say, no, it's not. How the F do I know? Anyway, what do you guys make of this? What do you think? What do you think about the fact that Avi Loeb says it's potentially nuclear powered? How would that work out? What do you think this is? I would be satisfied to just see a bunch of comments. Even let's say 10,000 people watch this video. If all 10,000 of you just write one of two things, comet or alien. That's it. Just respond with that. What do you think it is? Comet or alien? I'm very curious if you had, let's say hypothetically, if you lazy asses, you're sitting on the shitter and you can at least write something. I'm not going to comment. If you're sitting on the shitter and you want to you can write one word, use voice text, comet, alien, taking a shit, whatever you want to do. I don't care. Just do one of those things. I really want to say alien or comet, because then if you can put, let's say hypothetically we get, because you humps aren't going to, not going to listen, but let's say 300 of you listen. I'd like to see out of those 300 people, what's the ratio? Put your thoughts in there. I want to know. All right, thanks for being here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. All right, we'll see you guys on the flip side.